Welcome to Big Apple Mountain Tarot. I'm Mike Rusnak.
I'm Everest Hall. In this video, we're going to talk about the Libra full moon that's happening on April 12th, 2025. This might be a doozy for some people.
Because it represents ships of all kinds, all kinds of ships. Relationships.
Legal ships.
Yes.
Friendships.
Friendships, family ships, partnerships.
Lover ships, karma ships, all the ships. Libra's about balance. It's the 7th house.
So this is the first lunation that happens on the heels of eclipses, right? Yeah. We had our solar eclipse in Aries. Our last full moon was a lunar eclipse in Virgo.
Yep.
At that time, we had Venus and Mercury retrograde. So the message from us was don't act, but strategize.
Strategize.
Well, now Mercury is going direct on April 8th. And at the time of this full moon, Venus is stationing direct, and Venus represents Libra.
Right.
So very powerful. And it's about relationships and looking at where we are in relationships, where we stand, and looking at ourselves with honesty, which isn't always comfortable.
No, it's not always comfortable. When a planet is coming out of retrograde, it stations direct for a brief moment and then it goes direct. So kind of like
you feel the shift from internal work to external action.
The skid of the car as it reverses.
I'm driving. Oh.
Yeah, we're driving. So Venus wants us to like get along. It wants us to meld. It wants us to love,
harmonize. Don't rock the boat. Don't upset. Don't do that.
But
here's the thing. Chiron, the wounded healer, is conjunct the sun very tightly at this moon. And Mars in Cancer is holding the sun and moon in a tight T-square.
Right.
Uncomfortable.
So, the sun is our ego. Yeah. Chiron represents psychic wounds that we all share. And we all have individual. These are these intense pains that we cannot get over.
It's like diabetes. You live with it.
Yeah.
You manage it, but you never really get rid of it.
No.
And it may seem like a drag for a lot of our lives, but at a point we realize that it's a trove of knowledge about how strong we really are.
And, you know, like if you think about diabetes, it's a trove of knowledge on how the body produces sugars and how we should eat and diet. And even though this is like a real hassle on you, you're blessed with this information about diet and how your body works. So there's a double end to it. So this is the thing. Chiron, pain, psychic pain, a psychic wound.
Old familial pain. Stuff that happened to us in our childhood. And it takes real honesty to navigate this moon. Yeah. So if lately it feels like tensions are bubbling and everything seems to be bothering us and we, just gentle words seem like a real hassle, it could be because of this moon. Not to fret.
Not to fret. It probably is. Are you feeling passive aggressive? Are you feeling crazy? Are you being tortured by the world and people around you? It's kind of this energy.
Mars is back inbounds as of April 7th, so there may be less of a feeling of out of control, but it's been with us for 4 months. Right. Since December 7th. Mars has been out of bounds, and that's out of control. And we all feel a bit shell-shocked. Right?
I don't know why, Mike.
I know. And it's the spring, and we're ready to go out, and we're ready to socialize. We're ready to go to a protest. We're ready to go and have our voices heard.
Voice our
values.
Hurt. Voice our pain. Yes.
So this moon is about finding balance, as every moon is about finding balance and learning how to work with the wind resistance. Right. And understanding that symbiosis. So we're working with a personal wound.
And we're working with personal wound.
In regards to relationships and justice, and look at ourselves with honesty.
The sun, our ego, is in Aries, which is a very aggressive, forward, progress-based, revolutionary type of action. It's an action.
Sometimes it's uncomfortable to stand up and act in the face of our relationships, but it's very necessary, right?
While Mars is passive aggressively in Cancer and our moon, our emotions are trying to balance things in Libra. So I kind of get the story of this lunation.
So Mars, god of war, in Cancer, passive aggressive, holding us in an uncomfortable T-square to the Sun conjunct Chiron, our wounded healer, and the Moon. It's our emotions and who we are outside too in relationships.
Yeah. And to make this a little bit more stranger, Neptune has moved into Aries for the first time in a long time, for 160 something years. This is a very new energy. I feel it. I don't know. I can't put a name on it, but I feel very different with this Aries energy.
A little less dreamy, a little more focused.
It's kind of like you said earlier this morning, like I've woken up.
Oh God, I'm thinking faster.
I'm thinking a little faster. Things are a little clearer. And, things are getting a little clearer, and you want to act and you want to resolve this personal pain, this personal hurt that's really dominant in our lives.
The good news is that Mars is trining to Venus, representing Libra.
Yes.
Venus is in a stellium in Pisces with Venus 24 degrees, Saturn 25 degrees, North Node 27 degrees, and Mercury 27 degrees. At the same time, Mars is 27 degrees. So it's a tight stellium, a lot of work in Pisces. That's our spirituality, our deep inspiration. We'll go through each sign and we'll pull a card for each sign.
So we're going to go through the list, the zodiac list, and we're going to give you guys and gals advice with the tarot cards. All right.
Okay, and best of luck to you. Shuffle these, so you might want to cut them.
Okay, I think it's right here.
Okay, so for Aries and Aries rising, this energy squares you. This may not be the easiest for you because this represents your 7th house of relationships, who you are, who you've shown up as in your relationships.
Yeah.
It takes looking for more emotional support from you, from your family, your friends, your lovers, your partners, your pets.
And I think also a personal accountability. It's very easy to blame other people.
To shirk it. Don't run from the truth, Aries. Okay?
Have you ripped somebody else off? So here we go. We have the 7 of Swords. This is the devious card. This fellow is disarming his enemy's camp. This is about
sabotage.
Self-sabotage.
It's about insecurities.
Poor planning,
insecurities, home, family. Keep going back to that old wound, though. Think about that old wound, that familial wound that you are working with. Right. You don't have to broadcast that to anyone. Just do the work undercover.
Actually, don't broadcast it to everyone. Don't make it
It's not to be
a public display.
Because Venus is in your 12th house. So that's the house of hidden spaces. And that stellium is in your 12th house. That's a very humbling energy.
And see, this fellow, he's carrying these swords that he's stealing from the enemy camp by the points. He's going to cut his hands to ribbon. But he's left 2 swords behind, which means that he is surely going to be caught because there's an element of self-sabotage here.
So you really can't run from yourself.
No. No, Aries, we love you, but...
Yeah.
Okay, Taurus.
Insecurities in family. That's Aries. So Taurus and Taurus rising, this energy is in your 6th house. 6th house represents health, routines, service, how you show up for others, how you see yourself serving others. Okay. Mercury has gone direct, so that suggests health checks, gut checks. Venus has gone direct, symbolizing money and relationships. This may be about a new workout routine, but this is about you exploring feelings around your own isolation and finding your grounding and being honest with where you felt isolated in the past.
Okay, so this is another one. Here we go. 5 of Swords. These are 3 pirates that have been set adrift and are on a desert island. One is abusing the other 2. This is about abuse of power.
And it feels like you won the battle, but you might lose the the overall war, right?
Yeah, you lose the overall war by being a bully.
Explore your feelings surrounding isolation, right?
Isolation and bullying. Have you been bullying people in the past because you don't really appreciate the way they do things, and is it coming back to you?
Okay, so Gemini and Gemini rising, this energy is hitting your fifth house.
Fifth house.
This is about how you show up in joyful areas around your kids.
Creativity.
Fun, love, creativity, joy, happiness. It's good energy for your career, right? This is about not mixing friends with money, right?
Not mixing friends with money. Definitely don't do that. The Chariot card comes up for this one.
Jupiter is in your first house. So that's
Right.
very optimistic. And that's really leading the charge.
Chariot card's about balance. We have these two opposing forces that are pushing our chariot forward. One is black, one is white. They're sphinxes, so they're a mystery. And the mystery here is how to keep our emotions balanced.
How to navigate feelings of vulnerability surrounding guilt and shame with who you've been in respect to relationships, right?
Yeah, fifth house is children. Is there like a fine tuning of the balance with your children, with your family? Are you a little you're running wild here? Now, this is cards about
Does it need more inspiration?
Does it need more inspiration?
Yeah.
Chariot represents Cancer in the zodiac. Mars is in Cancer. We're wanting to really drive forward and get things done, but there needs to be a little bit of an emotional balance.
Very good. Okay. For Cancer and for Cancer rising, this is a tense energy for you, Cancer, because Mars is there, and this energy squares the Libra moon.
Right.
Right. This is your fourth house. Your home,
Your home, your security,
how you nurture yourself,
personal security,
how you show up as your own parent, right? Okay.
Interesting. Okay, this is the 5, the Hierophant. This represents Taurus. So this is traditional values. What works?
It's very lucky because Venus is in your 9th house position.
Right.
Your faith.
Beliefs
and traveling and teaching. Trining Mars in your 1st house too.
9th house is also higher education. So if you see, there are these two fellows, these two, I don't know, whatever is below the Pope, these two bishops, and they've got something to learn. They're learning from tradition.
What is tried and true, right? And don't let Mars get you over aggressive.
Right.
Just keep an eye on how you're feeling and how you're reacting. Right?
In your home life, in your self-security, in your nurturing of yourself, what has been working in the past, but also maybe what's been the kind of daily routine that's in your home that's gotten a little stale. Have you learned all you can from the traditions maybe? Is there a rebellion that's kind of bubbling up in you because of ideas on your home and how it should function?
And how you grew up with traditions. Maybe there's a wound around that. Maybe you need a new set of traditions that you didn't grow up with, but you need to start these new traditions.
Perhaps you were brought up by your grandparents because your parents didn't bring you up, and there's a wound because of that, but there's learning from it.
There's this understanding that things will never be right, never be as you would wish to have them.
Right. It would never be the traditional family that you wanted from the television, and there's something to learn in the material world about how to have a happy home life.
Television is a tradition. I think so.
Oh, it is a tradition.
Yes, true. One of my altars.
It's true.
Okay, so Leo and Leo rising, this energy is in your 3rd house. Okay. So this is about siblings and friends and who your siblings are to you. Maybe it's an old wound regarding that.
Okay, let's see.
Something clears up, though, at this time.
Yeah.
Something snaps into focus. It's about kids, neighborhoods, beliefs that need to be shed. That's ninth house in Aries.
Yeah. Siblings.
Yeah.
A fight with a sibling that is like perhaps says something cruel and unbearable, and it shatters your reality. But there's a message coming through, although it's hurtful from that sibling. There's a message coming through.
I think that you'll find you could benefit from communicating with larger groups outside of your family. Traveling may be a little bit emotionally difficult, not physically difficult, because Mercury's going direct, but it may feel worse than it is, just moving around. Very uncomfortable, away from your house, away from your safe zone.
Do you, okay, let's keep it real day to day. Do you freak out about your car, or about your transportation? Is it like such an oppressive thing on your mind that I get this way with the Mark car. Like, oh my God, the car.
Yeah, the car. What if the car doesn't make it?
I can't drive the car. What if it's raining?
We have to get it checked. We have to get an oil change. You're always worrying about the car. And it's
disaster.
The car's fine. It's just like we don't want to be caught off guard.
No.
Mars is in your 12th house position. So this is about hidden fears, right? Like what you can't see. So just be aware that you may be blowing it out of proportion a bit, making it much darker than it really is. And it's just weather, and it will pass.
It always passes.
Yeah. Virgo and Virgo rising, this energy is in your second house. Money, value, your money as your voice and what you represent, what you stand for. Venus is trining Mars in your 11th house position. So this may be about networks and love. Okay. Wounds around finances, joint finances, how you've worked jointly with others financially.
Are there secrets? This card, the female pope, the high priestess, has to do with arcane feminine knowledge, but it also has to do with secrets and things that are hidden. If you notice, she is behind this screen, which is the secret, and she's between these two pillars, which is kind of represents psychic electrical voltage.
It's ancient wisdom that predates Christianity.
Yeah. Is somebody keeping secrets from you about your finances? Is there a value that's being hidden from you that you've been struggling all your life with? There's a material intangibility that's been nagging at you all your life, and it's a great source of pain, and you want to voice it profoundly.
Jupiter is in your 10th house position. That's your career. Trining this moon in Libra, so there are opportunities there that you may not be aware of.
Yeah.
Just know that.
There's secret opportunities that you're not aware of. Okay.
For Libra and Libra rising, this is of course your first house.
It's all about you. Congratulations.
But there's some clarity coming in with Venus moving direct.
Right.
Venus and that whole stellium is in your 6th house position, so that's about health and routine and your service to others. That is trining Mars in your 10th house. Focus on who you really are, okay? Really are. Right?
In the dark. In the quiet.
By yourself.
Who are you?
And then who do you become when you're with other people, right? The hermit. He's on top of these white mountains. He's larger than the landscape.
Yes.
The lantern is holding the seal of Solomon, the little star, 6-pointed star. That is made up of 2 interlocking triangles. One is pointing up to the heavens, one is pointing down to the ground. So
one is masculine, one is feminine.
What is as above, so is below.
Big secrets. These are like the big secrets of who you are when you're alone, looking at yourself and how you've acted in the world. Now, you can't forget that this moon has to do with our karmic.
Absolutely.
Our karmic debts for our actions. Have we been acting properly? Are we being responsive to other people's needs? Are we kind? Are we helpful?
Are we acting at the behest of our parental lineage? What does my great-grandfather want me to do? What does my parent want me to do? Are you being genuine to yourself here? you know?
In the details, in the fine
And
details.
even when you're alone and you gather all this wisdom, there's always something else to learn. Always. Yeah.
It's wild.
Okay. For
Scorpio?
yes, Scorpio. Thank you. Scorpio rising. This energy is happening in your 12th house. You may not want to hear this, Scorpio, but this moon signifies a need to reset. This is hidden spaces, the 12th house. It's unconscious. It's paranormal. Do you want to keep going on like everything's fine, everything's great? We're performing.
We're performing the happy family. 10 of Cups. This is a performance here, an emotional performance.
Venus and that stellium is in your 5th house. So that's about joy and showing everyone how much joy you have and how wonderful and how perfect everything is.
What a good participant you are in the pageant of this play. You know?
Just rest.
Just rest. You got to get by yourself. You got to get into your subconscious. You have to listen to your dreams and like the little voices that are coming through to you. Yeah.
For Sag and Sag rising, this moon is sextiling the 11th house position.
Yeah. Friends, networks.
Friends, networks.
The people you want to spend time with.
Venus is in your 4th house. Trining Mars in your 8th house. This is a really great time for you to get out and socialize.
Yeah.
And maybe even have some awesome sex, too. Yeah.
Definitely.
8th house.
Definitely. You know, the act of lovemaking is healing. You know, the act of lovemaking.
It clears your head. It is meditation.
Yeah. And like the post-nut clarity, not to be vulgar, it's real. You know, once the orgasm happens and you've kind of forgotten about the trials of the day and like you've got a clear mind.
It's like, oh, how silly I was being.
Oh my God, I can't believe I was wrong about that.
Right.
You know, the act of sex with someone else, even by yourself, is just so, it really clears the palate. You know, it's wonderful. All right, boom. King of Pentacles, the king of earthly values. Here he is, resplendent in his throne, overgrown with the bounty of earth.
This is his money as his voice.
Yeah.
Let me get out. Let me do some things. Let me socialize. Let me get into my network.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think what you said is just really important. Your money is an expression of your values and your worth.
But keep going back to this Chiron conjunct the sun.
Right.
It's about this old wound that you have that you want to work with. You don't want to get rid of. You don't want to heal. You just want to work with it.
And
right?
And it has to do with the 11th house of networks and friends. Perhaps
maybe you could knit your networks closer together somehow.
Yeah, you can knit your club closer.
Do a little mixer
by being generous and kind of really getting your values out to your friends and talking magical stuff. Sagittarius are so wonderful. They've got all these awesome ideas and they're usually really like positive,
far out, and joyful,
ebullient. People want to hang out with Sagittarius. Yeah. You know, it's just how it is. Maybe you feel a little like I don't want to hang out. I just want to be by myself here. But get out.
Little steps.
All
right, for Capricorn rising, this energy is tough on you, and it's tense because it's squaring to this moon, and there's a clear irritation around your own legacy that you feel, probably.
Oh.
A clear irritation.
Because you can't get anywhere. Five of Wands is a circular argument. These are immature children who are just playing games.
Are they just playing games?
Is anybody serious?
Are they just talking on social media? Is that just harmless, nothing? Or is it turning into something bigger, right?
Yeah. Does this develop into adult resentments, these childhood games? And you guys are very hardworking, traditional, trustworthy, grounded, and this circular argument where nothing gets done and everything is kind of equal,
Right.
and there's no importance on one value and one passion.
You may feel like things are reaching ahead too, because Mars is in your 7th house position of relationships.
Yeah.
So it may feel like everyone is somehow against you, even if you know they're not. It may just sound like they are. People may feel passive aggressive to you.
Is the collaboration falling apart?
There may be open enemies conspiring against you.
Conspiring against you, open enemies.
Yeah. Venus and that stellium is in your 3rd house position, suggesting that it would be good for you to engage with the community a little bit. Right?
Engage with the community. Call your siblings.
Yeah. And you may feel just tempered by being around strangers, right? Like that, that might feel calming, just being anonymous and around strangers. Yeah.
Aquarius.
Aquarius and Aquarius rising, you are probably the luckiest, most fortuitous, serendipitous sign
for this moon.
For this round.
For this crazy moon.
Because this represents your 9th house position of faith, travel, higher learning. Jupiter is in Gemini. And that's trining to you.
Yeah, that's true. And we got Pluto in Aquarius giving us a lot of oomph and power. The lovers.
But still, others are irking you, and that is the fact.
And Aquariuses can't help it. We gotta be ourselves. And perhaps our quirky nature is driving other people a little crazy. That's all right. The lovers, I always have trouble with this card talking about it because it's so obvious in a way.
Well, it's so like the devil card.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. This is what happens before the devil card.
Right. It's our relationships, it's our partnerships, but beyond that, it's kind of like the soul's contract with other people. And there's just certain people on Earth we can't escape from because we've got to deal with this karmic back and forth with.
You signed up for the school of Earth, so you have to deal with these others,
Yeah.
And that's uncomfortable for an Aquarius who has a very cold, icy heart. But it's the truth
it's true
that you do have to deal with people.
It's not all theory. It's not all your fun ideas. It has to do with other people, other people's vulnerabilities, other people's emotions. Two people together is different than one person.
But you still have to maintain your own personal ideas about God,
Right.
9th house, faith, God, higher learning, and keep feeding that well of information.
Soul contract.
Yeah.
Why are you in contract with this person who may or may not be difficult? And what do you learn from this contract that you have with this person? And how can it make you a better human being and help other people?
Keep it simple. Keep thinking about that wound. Don't worry about all of this. Keep it simple. Keep thinking about the wound.
Feel it.
That's all.
Feel it to heal it.
Feel it to heal it.
This energy is happening in your 8th house of transformation.
Yes.
So this is about a rebirth, and you have that stellium in your 1st house. You have, yes.
And it feels like this.
Like deep karmic work.
Yeah.
This is all about psychological trauma. That's old wounds regarding families, siblings, money around parents. Good news is that Venus is with your 1st house stellium.
So you are looking pretty darn good to everybody else.
And it's, trining Mars in your 5th house. So it may take a little bit of extra energy to have that fun, have that joy, find that good time, but well worth it. And this is a 10, and 10s are completion of a cycle. So once you get to town carrying this load, you won't have to do it again. But it does take going into the old, the old toy box. And
Yeah,
pulling
the
out
old toy box.
moon and looking at it.
Now, the eighth house, besides sex, death, and occult matters, it's other people's money. So there might be like a real pain when it comes to inheritance, comes to the way you get money from other people, from your partnerships, maybe legal actions. You know, there's like a real abuse that might have happened that you really feel that pinch and you can't get over.
About it.
And it's heavy. It's a heavy energy. But if you take this load of passions and you put it down and you reorganize your passions and you think a little bit more thoughtfully on how to get it to market as you're fatigued and your body's aching and you're like, God, I can't take this pain anymore. Take a breath and reassess the situation.
Our minds are gardens and our thoughts are seeds. You could grow flowers or you could grow weeds. There
you go. That's it. Sorry about, we had a little glitch, Mercury retrograde over here. We had a little glitch for you Pisces, but I feel like this is really important here. Just that feeling, that burden.
And remember, it's a full moon. It may feel much worse than it is.
Yeah, it sure does.
Feelings are not facts.
Feelings are not facts. If you can't get your feelings, centered, just kind of do a little thought project. Is this a real feeling I'm having? Is this an authentic emotional reaction to the situation? Or is this an old emotion that I'm reprocessing that has nothing to do with what's happening right now?
Is it traumatic recall?
Is it traumatic recall? Are you bringing back your emotional state from when you were 5 years old? Or are you being grounded in reality in 2025? This is one of these big tricks we have to do, is be present tense in April 2025. This is not any other time.
We don't have the past and we don't have the future.
We have right now.
That's it.
And we love you.
We love you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. And if you would like a reading from us, we'd love to do that for you. Just drop a little line to us and please
smash the like
button. We love you. Bye.